Automation is something that I see many people wondering about how to take advantage of, or how to make it better, or how to make it faster. At least in Reaper, we have a ton of options as usual to do one single thing. So today I'm going to show you some automation items that I think you should have ready to load for many different situations because they are common ways of moving parameters. Straight from Mexico City, my name is Juanchis, and let's jump into Reaper. So I have this small sound example for today. Then it becomes this. And it goes into here. Comes back. So you can see I have a ton of automation lines drawn, and in Reaper we call them envelopes, right? As usual, I have my action list down below, so you can always follow what I'm doing. And under A, I'm using show all envelopes for all tracks. And as usual, I will have those sections in the description down below in case you missed one of them. So I'm always toggling to be able to see them or not see them because you're not always working on automation and it's screen space that you have to save. And I have another shortcut for hide all envelopes for all tracks. With these two, I can just go into one or the other. Ways to start making automations. I'm using usually this shortcut toggle track between touch and trim read modes, and it's only working per track. And you will see that whenever I have a plugin and I run my shortcut, what will end up happening is that only one track will have those yellow markers that tell me that that track is set for automation. What this lets me do that whenever I move one parameter in that track, you can see that the envelopes start showing up. So I can select the frequency of this one and the frequency of the first band as well. And now I have them ready to be automated or drawn specifically by hand or using some shortcuts that I have shown on previous videos. And now I can start creating envelopes that I have shown on previous videos on how to set these to. I'm using some custom actions that I have shown on other videos, but I will link these actions also in the description so you can create your own custom action to be able to do this and scroll between different straight line envelopes. And all of the options will be down below, so just copy them and create new action, new custom action, load the actions, and you know how it goes. Let's suppose that you usually use this shape a lot for automating the frequency of a low pass filter, right? So once you have done that specific shape, what you can do is I'm using Control R for inserting an automation item. And what that lets me do is insert that specific item. It will only create it if you are selecting that specific envelope track, right? Like this section right here. Otherwise, it won't work. Like sometimes some small mistakes or some frequently asked questions happen because you're not selecting that track. So even if I hit my shortcut right here, it won't work because I'm selecting track number 2. But if I'm number 1 and I'm in that specific envelope, now I can start creating for every single one of them, right? And there's a small menu here that is going to make a huge difference from now on. You can load specific automation items that you have saved. You can also mute specific automation item if you want to try something. It's going to be reading the envelope, but it's not going to affect the parameter that's being selected. You can also split it. For example, let's say it's unmuted and I want to split this automation item right here. You can split it right there and make it shorter and bring it elsewhere. I think probably the easiest way to understand the automation items, let me clear these envelopes, is to understand that they are whole movements of an envelope that you can handle just as any other item in Reaper, right? So if you saw my video of all of the things that you can do with items, then you can do any other sort of thing with this automation item. And as usual, on preferences, editing behavior, mouse modifiers, automation item context, you have two options, left drag and double click, and you can do different things with it. You can create the pull automated. You can do a lot of actions with it. You can displace it. Uh, you can do a lot of things. So in case I'm just trying to duplicate, for example, let's say that I have very specific automation along these two bars, and I just want to copy it elsewhere, I can just hold Option, because that's the key that I have assigned, and bring it elsewhere. This still lets them work in a very independent way. So I can use my pencil and I can modify every single one of them, so it's not exactly the same automation, but I have this same starting point and I can just micro adjust it, right? So if you have a section where you just want to cut the low end, one thing that you might want to do is, since you know you can do that with a stock EQ, you don't need fat filter EQ for that. You need stock plugins because they are low CPU usage and they are quite precise. It's fine. I load a single plugin, for example, a ReaQ, and I have a very specific preset that I have saved that has a low pass and a high pass. Now I have my parameters at site. So let's suppose you want to make a low pass, high pass, so you can narrow the band of a specific section for your drums, your vocals, whatever. Just load a stock EQ that you already have set the preset for high pass, low pass. It's set, right? Now set your track on automation mode, move the frequency parameter, and move the frequency parameter, disable the automation. In the case of this one, it might give you some other values that you might want or not want to automate. But now I have filter frequency 1, filter frequency 2. I'm going to display it here really small on the track control panel so we can just see what's going on, and I can use the screen space for the automation example because that's the thing that I'm trying to show, right? Now I can just select time and do right click, automation item, load, and this is a high pass that's opening, so it's going to move that way, and it will always remember a duration, but don't worry about it, we'll make it work. I go to the low pass and I'm going to load the low pass opening, and now I have something like that. And it's always going to start at the same value that I saved it, and it's frequency, so it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to take advantage of the razor edits. I'm going to make that selection, and by holding Option, because that's the one I have on my mouse modifiers, with Option, under the razor edit edge, left drag, I have stretch areas, right? So I can now drag it to the extension of whatever duration I need across how many bars I need, and now it's done. Probably the last thing that I need to do, and even if I move across my grid, you will see that my automation is reacting to it, right? I'm using Control A for viewing envelopes for current last selected track. So I'm going to hold Shift, bypass the plugin, turn it on again. I'm going to hold Shift, I'm going to turn off, bypass the plugin. I'm going to open my envelopes for the selected track, and I'm going to hit the column touch. That way my bypass will be up top. I'm going to arm the envelope and make it visible, and it's this green one down here. What I want is that whenever my cursor is in this time selection, and let me just visually, I'm just making a region for you to be able to follow everything that I'm saying. So across this region, I have to have that equalizer on, right? So I'm going to double select the region. So I have a fast time selection. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to use one of the actions that I have left down below on the description. And now it's going to turn on. And if I hit play, you will see that it turns on and eventually it goes off, right? So you might want to be extra safe and completely turn off the equalizer across the previous sections, either by holding Command. For those that are on Windows, when I say Command, you are using Control, and bring it all the way down, because this is the low pass, the high pass. And for the low pass, I'm going to bring it completely up, and the same for before and after. You can also do this with a mouse. Sometimes it's easier. It depends like how you start flowing with the session. But now I have a very specific setup of stuff right here. And since I don't want to do that every single time, probably my best option is to simply save the automation items. 3 versions that you need to have, and you can probably just make them right now. Opening low pass filter, closing low pass filter, opening high pass filter, closing low pass filter, at least. With what frequency to begin with? If you want something really dramatic, try around 400. If you want to be a lot less invasive, probably 180 hertz 180 hertz is a good option to begin with. And now, since a lot of music effects are using this stutter effect, you can just save an envelope that makes stutter across half a bar, right? And again, remember that the automation items save that information or recall that information of how long they were set with. So if I load right here, I set up my cursor first, I load, and I say stutter flutter, right? And I call it stutter flutter because it's not always going all the way down into the volume. It's slowly fading completely out. So it's fluttering out, right? And you will see that it's going to remember that second part of the bar as the position that I'm using. And now I have this kind of effect. That also works for auto panning and saving a lot of time. There's a ton of other things that you can do with automation items. Saving something like this for panning works really well. And maybe I could, again, since this still has a tail to it, I can just bring it down. And since that's going to be a transition, usually I'd rather save something like 2 bars maybe. I'm going to save the bar going in and probably 2 bars after, so the tail never gets messed up with. I'm going to insert the automation item. I'm going to save this one, and I'm going to call this pan left to right. And even if I delete this for whatever reason, I can just set my cursor first, automation items, load, pan left to right, and it's there. And if it's not loaded exactly where I need it, I can just drag it, and that works great. I would also suggest that you have on the option on editing behavior, automation items, loop new automation items by default. That way you can just repeat it if necessary. And here probably is the biggest bonus of this video. A lot of us have always wondered how to move our media items and to have the automation follow it without having to go into razor edits or creating a region and then moving the whole region, duplicating it. Well, there's an option under the menu options. If you go into envelope points, move envelope points with media items. And I have that on my toolbar now. So whenever I turn it on, I can just move everything and I can just unlink it if necessary. There you go. There's a ton of things you can do with automation items. So the last item that you might want to have is some sort of docking kind of effect. I know there are so many plugins like Cable Guys and so many ways to start doing this following envelope for docking or using a compressor or any other thing. I have tested this with so many plugins versions on how to dock stuff. Honestly, the time parameters are what makes the difference, and you want it to be clean of distortion and clean of any sort of harmonics. So for me, it's easier to just have one single envelope that I can load as an automation item. I feel like if it depends probably on the genre that you're making, but if you dock at around -28 and then go back, it can feel okay. For me, the big plus of doing it this way is that if you are pulling the items, that means that whenever I edit one of them, the rest will follow, right? You can adjust one single version of it and it's going to work for the rest of your track. And like for me, that's a great option. Like it simply works really well. And I don't have to load a plugin that's going to impact the RAM of my computer. So that's another one. Let's do a small rundown of the media items that we saw today. And if this video has been useful to you, I'd really appreciate if you leave any sort of comments, leave a like below, hit that subscribe to the channel or hit that notification bell. And if you really like the video, I have a buy me a coffee link down below. So the rundown is for filtering, you want to have something like opening low pass and closing low pass, opening high pass, closing high pass, some sort of stuttering form that you're using really often on music. If you're using that, panning left to right, panning right to left, or going from center to the sides. That also works. Some sort of docking automation item. And last but not least, some sort of bypass on and off, and some sort of dry to wet or wet to dry into the effect, because it's something that we also do a lot with automation. I hope this video was useful. If you want to learn more about Reaper, be sure to check the Reaper Squad videos or jump into the Discord of Let's Talk About Reaper. And if you're curious about any other workflows on Reaper, be sure to check the rest of my videos straight from Mexico City. My name is Juanchis, and thanks for listening.